Welcome everyone to the effectively last episode of Footy Rivals for 2019.
It's bittersweet, man, but we're here and it's grand final time. Can't talk, but it's grand final week. It's grand final time. Pretty excited.
Very much so, yeah.
But also bummed out that this is our last show. So
yeah, 100%. And who'd have thought that we would be seeing... Wow, with the teams that we are seeing. But before we get into anything, we want to welcome a special guest for the first time on Footy Rivals. We've got with us joined via Discord, Joel. Joel, how are you going, mate?
Are you ready to laugh?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Okay. We've
that was a good intro.
We've already started with The Simpsons, yeah.
Yeah, The Simpsons, I like that. That's good. I can dig this. Joel, Tell us a bit about your team. Like, obviously, this is grand final week. We're going to talk grand final a lot, but you're an avid Adelaide fan. For anyone who wouldn't know, I'm pretty sure most people would know. Tell us about your team. Tell us what's going on. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so, well, we're blowing it up, which I'm like, that takes a lot of balls. I'd rather us admit that we're going to go through a rebuild as opposed to, no, we're still competitive. Let's trade our young core for old players and hope for the best. Sure, it's gonna suck for a couple of years, but happens to everyone, sort of.
I can respect that. They go down to go up.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm not even entirely sure that all of the player leavings per se is entirely mutual with the club from all reports coming out, I think. So I'm not sure the spin of going down to go up, because it's a club choice. So yeah. But it's going to happen.
I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed Jerker's leaving. I'm like, I said on the Adelaide subreddit, I was just like, look, I probably get hate for it, but I thought he played pretty well after his knee scare when he came back. And they just, again, Fogarty is the future, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, I think Jerker was kind of thrown under the bus a bit.
It's probably better than Tex.
Yeah,
so probably not the forward you want to lose.
I think Jenkins was definitely thrown out. I think he had better form than Tex did this year. So
yeah, absolutely. We've got Nate Dogg with us right now. Yeah. How you going, Nate Dogg? Thanks for joining, mate.
Welcome. Well, it's the start of the show. Let's kind of kick into things now. Probably, I want to say the feel-good story for the week and what could potentially be for the year, depending on the outcome of the weekend, is is the debutant for the Richmond Tigers on Saturday, the grand final. Marlian Pickett has been picked. He's already won a premiership for the Tigers VFL side.
And a best on ground. In that premiership, which earned him a spot.
The last player to win a premiership in both the VFL and AFL was Cyril Rioli in 2013.
Wow. So not actually that long ago then.
Nope.
You'd think that's a record that would stretch back a little while, but...
no, not 13. Sorry, 14. The year before was another Hawks player.
Yeah. Of course. Brian Lake torched my team in 2013.
It's a feel-good story.
It is. It's an amazing story. Like, mid-season recruit in the mid-season draft, from South Fremantle, where he was dominant, following in the footsteps of Tim Kelly, who also came from South Fremantle. They played a lot of footy together.
Yep.
To be picked as a debutant on grand final I feel like he's going to be really depressed come round one next year when he realises not every game is that cool.
Well, if ever there was a player deserving of a pick, it's the equivalent of the Norm Smith medalist from the week before for the lower competition, right?
Has to be. Like, I was bummed that it wasn't Camden McIntosh because he's local to our area, but whatever, man. This is a great story. Yeah. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Joel?
I think that it's really cool that that guy gets his due, especially in a grand final. I can't believe that's going to be petrifying. Like, going from maybe a couple thousand at a local ground to the MCG with like 100,000 plus. That's going to scare the shit out of you.
To give you some context, right? The last player to debut in a grand final was way back in like the 30s.
Oh, Jesus.
Jeez, right, okay.
Yeah, so just let that fact sink in for a moment, especially with how big the event has become over the last 80 years.
So the last time this happened, we were 15 years away from entering, 10 years or 9 years away from entering World War II.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about.
That's nuts. 15 years away from ending World War II was what I was getting at. But yeah, no, that is insane. But it just, how do you think he's going to go? Like, what's he going to do?
He's got a good legacy last name behind him, really, doesn't he?
Certainly does.
Well, as we already established, I don't know what the award is called for the VFL, but he's the Norm Smith equivalent for the VFL. Best player on grand final. I mean, you'd say that he's probably going to come out and have some sort of impact. He's just not. Yeah. He's not going to be a player that just takes up a bench spot, right?
I think he's in a good side to come in and have impact.
Well, yeah, because the side's not as reliant on him. He can just pop up, do what he does.
Exactly. Like, they're not going to lean on him. They're not going to run him through the midfield for the bulk of the minutes or anything like that. He's going to be like what is he? Flank wing sort of player.
I don't actually know his position.
I don't know if I know he was a midfielder at South Fremantle, I think, but he's not going to play much in the midfield here in the AFL Grand Final on debut. So that makes me think that maybe some wing, maybe some flank. I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see on the day.
Yeah, I hope he does well. I really hope he does well. In fact, I hope he wins the Norm Smith medal, because how cool would that be?
Jeez, imagine that. Winning a Norm Smith in the VFL and then winning a Norm Smith in the AFL. Could you, would that have ever been done before?
On your debut.
That would, oh, wow. That's
so cool.
No, I couldn't even imagine that.
Yeah. No,
we'll go through who we think will win the Norm Smith and stuff when we go through the teams, when we actually talk about the game. But gee, that's kind of a magical thought, really, isn't it?
I just want it to happen so bad.
Earlier on in the week, obviously the big news for the week, other than the grand final itself, Brownlow night on Monday night. I think the eventual winner was only the fourth favourite to pick up the medal.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Nathan Fyfe, we're obviously talking about, winner of the 2019 Brownlow medal. Pipped Patrick Cripps, who was probably one of the favourites, by 7 votes in the end.
And who came storming out. Like, once Cripps came storming out, I was a bit like, oh, man, this is not good, because I didn't think Fyfe finished that well, with his last 2 games. So you've backed Fyfe in all year.
2 months.
So had I until the final 2 weeks of the year, where I was kind of like, no, he didn't get any votes. He's not going to come through. And then he did. You got to
stick to your guns, man. Who were you backing in, Joel?
I don't know. Like, I didn't really have a dog in the Brownlow race, mostly because I thought it was one of those years where, like, it was a bit of a wash of a bunch of really good players, but also it felt super tight and it would have been a crapshoot. But I guess I'd say Cripps, but it felt like there were like 7 or 8 different players all kind of vying and had their ups and downs throughout the year.
I think that's
what
a good
made
point.
It hard.
Yeah. I tell you what, Patrick Dangerfield started much stronger than I thought he deserved compared to Tim Kelly. And I feel like Tim Kelly had an almost better back end to the year than what Patrick Dangerfield did.
Yeah.
When I feel that their forms for the year were the complete opposite of how they polled.
Yeah,
it was really strange thing to watch.
I think Joel raises a good point in saying that so many players had so many ups and downs, because, and it probably reflected in the way the medal panned out, is that Fyfe, like, let's say individually, take all the team results out of it, because this is an individual award. He had less downs than the rest of those guys, I feel like. Like, Lachie Neale had an outstanding season, but because everyone wanted him to be doing well, we kind of glossed over the fact that he had a lot of games where he only had 19 or 20 touches. Like, there were like 3 or 4 of those games sort of in the mix of the season.
Yeah.
So he was never going to poll in those games. And it was probably the same with Dangerfield, who had a lot of games where he was sort of just blanketed. Fyfe really only had the 2 games at the end of the year where he was not much chop.
He also missed, 2 games? Well, really, he probably missed 2.5 games throughout the year, because he got knocked out.
Yeah, in the Derby, was
halfway it? Through. No, I don't think it was the Derby.
A week before the Derby, because I think he missed the Derby with the concussion.
No, I thought he played
the first Derby.
I thought he played in both Derbies.
Maybe I'm getting that mixed up then. But yeah, he definitely missed 2 games. and he was knocked out like in the late stages of the first quarter or something like that in a different game. So, I mean, yeah.
Kudos to him. A lot of people have come out and said that Cripps probably should have won it, but he didn't because he missed 5 games. And then you go back to Fife effectively missed 3 games worth of polling.
Yeah.
So even if Cripps posted best on grounds for the 2 lost games on Fife, he still doesn't win it anyway. So I don't think you could really take that into account per se. But in saying that, it doesn't even matter. If he didn't play the games, he wasn't in the conversation anyway.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, and to sum up, Fife is really more of a deity than a man anyway. So, I mean,
tell you what, this man Fife, all right, I want to run you through a little bit of a rundown of what he'll leave as a legacy when he's finished up, okay? So, in 2000, he's near on single-handedly gotten the club to the 2013 grand final.
Yeah,
there were a few other stars and everything there as well, but Fife was very clearly the most dominant player in that Fremantle side.
Yeah, I think so.
2015, he obviously won the Brownlow, but he also played, I want to say, half a game to 3/4 of a game on a broken leg in the 2015 preliminary final.
Yeah, and in that quarter was definitely Fremantle's best player on a broken leg.
Yeah. He obviously missed a couple of years and missed a lot of games over the next few years with another broken leg in pre-season and, some elbow and shoulder issues and things like that and some lower leg issues continuing on. And then this year, he's played the entire year with an elbow injury and yet he's still won a Brownlow despite having carried that. And then 2 weeks after the season has ended, he's had his 4th shoulder reconstruction.
Yeah, what did you say in Brownlow now? Like 17 surgeries? Like 17 surgeries he's had on his shoulder overall.
Yeah.
Like 4 reconstructions, 17 surgeries. Insane.
It is insane to think what this man will leave as a legacy once he finally goes out.
Yeah. The debate about him being the greatest docker of all time is not a debate for me. Like, he's the greatest docker now.
I think
a dual Brownlow medalist. I think I love Pav. And Pav was great in areas where Fife wasn't. But if you were to tell me who's the greatest player, like base as a player, I'm going to take Fife.
All right.
2 Brownlow medals to me.
That's interesting for a Freo fan because I think the general consensus from everyone that's not a Freo fan is that Pav's still a better player, but Fife will end up being better.
I think 2 Brownlows took him over.
Yeah, right.
I think it took him over. It's hard to win 2.
What do you reckon, Joel? Pav or Fife?
Is it state bias if I say Pav? And also, Justin, you're welcome. The entirety of South Australia says you're welcome.
But to be fair, it was kind of Adelaide's fault that they didn't pick Pav up in the first place because they had a chance to pick him up as a 17-year-old, and then they went with someone who didn't really ever play any games for Adelaide in the first. At the end of the day.
Yeah, take that, Joel.
Whoops. I know. But I think, two Brownlows is a bit. I mean, as good as Pav is, and as good as Pav was, still no doubting he's a fantastic player. But I think 2 Brownlows trumps the. Yeah. Even then, it feels like doesn't matter how dominant a forward you are. Outside of Lockett and a couple others, I can't really see forwards winning Brownlows. That's why I feel like we need, outside of the Coleman, we need another kind of best forward player in the league. Same with defender. Yeah.
They tossed up the idea of rejigging the voting system or something, didn't they? I don't know how they would do that, but somehow rejigging it to where it's not all based around midfielders, but I don't think that works.
So the hard thing is, specifically with the Brownlow, when you're judging the best player on the field, is it's kind of hard to go. I mean, the position and the groups of midfields are the most important pieces on the field in getting it forward and giving your team the most amount of opportunities. Now, forwards can kick goals, so do midfielders.
Yeah.
But forwards don't get up the ground and put the ball into the forward line, and defenders are kind of a link between the halfback to the half forward, not necessarily going into the forward line per se. So, when you're talking of influence, midfielders do have the greatest influence on the game. So that's why it's so dominated by midfielders as an award sort of thing. So I do think the common medal is a good representation with regards to the best forwards in the game and everything.
Yeah,
you can even
best forwards kick the most goals.
Yeah, and you can have teams that are languishing down the bottom of the ladder sort of thing. You only need to look at Brendan Brown for the last 2 years.
Yeah, and you can still win that award.
Right up there with regards to the common medal and everything.
Yeah.
So
I think it's funny how the footy world has sort of come full circle, or full 180, I should say, on how they view the Brownlow medal, because originally it became sort of a midfielder's medal, I guess, or I guess it always has been, but like we viewed it as, the forwards get all these plaudits for kicking all these goals, when I guess Carey and Lockett and Dunstall and these guys were kicking all these goals, and they're like, oh, they get all the plaudits for kicking all the goals. What about the guys that are getting them the football? That was the original thought. And now we've sort of come 180 where we're all just like, oh, it's just a midfielder's medal. What about the forwards and giving them some reward?
Yeah.
It's a bit funny. I think it's strange how we've sort of shifted in the thought process.
It'll always happen, though.
Yeah.
I've got another question for both you boys, all right?
All right.
Yep.
Now on Brownlow night, the awards for Mark of the Year and Goal of the Year were given out. Now, I think unanimously the Mark of the Year was unanimously decided that was probably the best one of the bunch.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you about Goal of the Year. Because when I was doing the stream, and my own thoughts personally were in order from best to worst for the three that were Goal of the Year, I felt that Tipper was the best, Rioli was the second, and Betts was the third. And yet Betts won. So I want to get your thoughts on Betts winning the Goal of the Year, I think for the fourth time now.
Joel, why don't you take us through this first? Because Betts plays for your team. I'd like to gauge your thoughts on whether you thought it was Betts or the others.
Well, probably Tipper because it was
No, he's talking, but the headset's lost him.
Oh, okay. Bear with us one moment. In the meantime, I'll give you my thoughts, and I actually totally agree with you. I thought Tipper.
He was going through the stream.
Yeah. I thought Tipper for sure.
Sorry, you want to go again, Joel? We lost you on the headset, but the stream could have heard you.
Oh, no, that's okay. So pretty sure like Tipper's was the better, more in context, better, bigger goal. I think Eddie's was a good goal, but his best probably was 2016 by a country mile. That was like one of the best goals of all time. Yeah, but probably shouldn't have won it. It was a good goal and all, but it wasn't the best this year.
See, for me, it was he picked the ball up, he checked side. Don't get me wrong, it's a difficult goal.
It's an insanely good
side
goal.
On the non-preferred is a difficult goal.
Yeah.
I'll go in from order of difficulty to speckiness and everything. You then had Rioli's who duped two players but took a shot relatively in front. And then you had Tipper who double duped the one player and then snapped on the preferred side close to the boundary, which I feel is harder. It's actually harder than Betts' kick because you leave yourself with less of an angle than what the check side opens the angle up to being. So even as just difficulty, I feel like snapping the ball from the right side as a right footer is actually harder than check siding away from the goal sort of thing.
I'm with you. I'm with both of you. I thought Tippers was the best. I thought that because the selling of the candy needs to be rewarded a little more here.
Yeah.
Like Betts sort of he got that awkward bounce or ricochet of someone's hand or something like that, didn't it? And then it floated for a bit and he grabbed it and just snapped. Again, amazing goal. But the whole motion of selling the candy and like you said, just duping the player twice and then snapping a difficult goal itself, like I was all for Tipper. I thought he should have won it. Yeah.
I think this is kind of where it falls down, and I'm not really sure of a way to fix it because it's a fan vote.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll always have fans, and this is nothing against Betts or anything. This is just to do with any sort of fan reward, regardless of the other choices and how good they are in comparison or how poor they are in comparison. A lot of the time, the most popular player will actually win it as well, sort of thing. So I think that's, but I'm not really sure on how you would go about necessarily repairing that because then you make it a media award. Or an official AFL
so
award.
do the fans vote on the final 3 nominees? Like I thought they voted the nominees in, and then like a panel picked the actual winner of those 3.
You get to vote who actually wins. Yeah, it's purely a fan vote on who wins each of those awards.
Yeah, see, I would prefer if the fans voted in the nominees, and then a panel of experts of some kind picked the actual winner.
I was going to say, Riley brought up a point in the chat saying he thought Brodie Smith's goal from round 23 should have won, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of thought that was better than Eddie's.
I'm pretty sure that Tipper actually had a better goal than the one he had nominated as well. Yeah. So it's not even necessarily the best goal of the year that is actually going to be winning anyway.
Those 3 might not even be the best.
It's purely because it was fan voted to get to that spot in the first place. So it just provides a whole bunch of inconsistencies in the first place with the awarding of these awards.
Give me the Seedsman torpedo any day. Give me that. I want the Seedsman torpedo as goal of the year next year. Like, I don't even care if he doesn't do it again. Just give him that.
Reminds me of when Cracker beat Andrew Walker for Mark of the Year a couple years ago, and you're just like, how?
Oh, yeah, that was
Walker
bad.
Literally,
I was actually personally baffled when Nick Nat sat on Jack Darling's head and got higher than both of them. And I think it was Walker that ended up beating him with his...
Oh, the one man. Is that the one you're talking about where Cracker beat him though, Joel? I didn't know.
Oh, so it might be that one. I think.
Did he not get Mark of the Year for that? I thought Walker was Mark of the Year for that.
No, and Cracker won it that year.
Really?
And I was watching a compilation of the Marks of the Year from 2000 to now, and
that was on the AFL side, wasn't it?
People were spewing that Cracker won it over Walker, which I was a bit. Yeah, I was just
sure
like, I forgot about that.
Nat Nui had a similar type of mark as what Walker did, but it was over Darling.
Yeah, I remember that.
He got much higher up sort of thing. And I was spewing at the time that I was just like, he's clearly got like the highest of them all.
Yeah.
But Walker rode it better. And then I didn't even fancy Crackers.
Yeah.
So... Yeah,
I was actually kind of with Smeds in the chat there. I thought Isaac Heaney's mark. I've got no problem with Liam Ryan taking Mark of the Year, and deservedly so. Like you said, it's probably unanimous. But I thought Heaney's mark probably got undersold a little. I don't know. I liked Heaney's mark a lot when I saw the replay, and then after that they showed the Liam Ryan mark, and I was like, no, well that's the winner.
Yeah,
I know that's the winner.
Yeah,
but the Heaney mark was pretty special too.
It's kind of hard to do it. It's kind of a difficult thing for the Heaney mark because it is, like, don't get me wrong, it is a great mark.
Yeah.
It is a great mark, and it'll probably be remembered as one of the greater marks to go down over the next decade.
Yeah.
But when you put it up against Liam Ryan's mark on Max Gawn, it's very hard to go past.
Particularly when they track where Liam Ryan ran from to get in position to mark.
Yeah.
That's what kind of made it special.
And you've also got to remember that Ryan's just jumped on a ruckman.
Yeah.
Completely
and he's a small
pushed
forward.
him out of the way and everything, and still taking the hanger sort of thing. So that's I think it just kind of elevates itself over the top of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still waiting for another mark the likes of John O'Brown and Nick Revolt. I kind of want to see someone...
well, to that point, and it didn't really get it didn't even get any good replays, but Oscar Allen, I can't remember which game it was, did one, and it got almost next to no coverage even in the game, but I'll try and find a clip
disgusting.
of it. Because it was
cracking marks.
It was very, very reminiscent of the Brown Rewalt mark.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
See, I just look, if I want it to take that next level where we're just like, I'm not sure if that person is alive after taking that mark. we need to up
that's
the
a good
ante.
place to be.
Well, moving along, because we've spent a bit of time on this, Joel, you're the perfect person to discuss this with now. We want to talk about the Crows players that want out of the club. Now, I've put down 3 names that have come out in the last, just this week so far, but there are more that have been rumoured to be wanting out and everything, all right? So in this week alone, Alex Keith has requested a trade, I think, to the Bulldogs,
yes.
was it?
Yeah.
Josh Jenkins has, despite having another 2 years on his deal, has been reported of wanting out, and it's been a mutual agreement with the Crows because he's starting to come lower on the pecking order.
Yep.
And Brad Crouch wants a better deal and is happy to leave to get it. He wants to be the next $1 million man. I don't think he will be. He's not worth that much, but he wants to be the next $1 million man. I personally see this as him just strong-arming the club to get a better deal, but he has said he's happy to leave to get a better deal than what he's being offered. What are your thoughts on that, Joel, being that that's your club that is being talked about?
I mean, in my darker kind of hours as a Crows fan this year, I've said, like, look, let Keith walk. If he wants to go to the Bulldogs, I'll go, all right, we'll swap picks, like third-round picks, and give me Lewis Young, and you can have him. With Crouch, if he's going to the Gold Coast or something like that, I'd be like, all right, pick 2. And maybe Lukosius if you're being super generous. And who was the other player? Sorry. Oh, Jenkins, yeah. Oh, Jerker.
No, Jenkins.
Yeah. Jenkins.
Jenkins, sorry.
Well, I think he'll do well where he goes, especially if they're in need of a somewhat mobile tall forward. So we'll get what we can. I'm in the blow it up mentality of just, all right, you want these guys, what you got to give us, pretty much. With Brad Crouch, I'm kind of like, yeah, you get a lot of possessions, but you don't do anything with them. Like, watching the games, they wouldn't even hit targets in the forward 50. We need someone who
Which
can.
says something, because Brad's probably one of the better users in that team too.
But yeah, no, just, I don't know if it was a game plan or just, again, I kind of, by the end, I saw Brad and Matt as just stat padders. Like, yeah, if you got them in your fantasy team, they're fantastic, but didn't do dickety shit when it comes to the ball. Like, we need someone who can hit a target in the forward 50 consistently. Like, you had Gallucci you put Gallucci in for a couple games and then you're just like, oh no, we'll just drop him for the rest of the year. And I'm like, no, you need to start playing the kids because Douglas is retired. Rory's getting older, and the problem with him is he's starting to actually just play flat out bad games as opposed to, yeah, he didn't do much, but he was playing with heart. It's just, yeah, we need to start rejigging things. Otherwise, again, like, that's why I'm kind of glad we're starting to sell off assets because, yeah, you need to rebuild now because if we were to start to sell off our youth for, I don't know, older players and stuff, yeah, we would be totally screwed thinking that we're still the windows are closed. So rebuild now, come back in a couple of years, and we'll just have to give it another go.
What are your thoughts on the player exodus at the Crows?
I tend to think that that's a good point that Joel just brought up. Before this season started, prior to this season and the preseason expectations that were on Adelaide were that they could play finals and probably play very deep into the finals.
They were tipped to go top 4 at the very least.
So to them, and I don't blame them for this, they perceive the window as open when they think they can go that far. They were just wrong. So yeah, Joel's right.
I'm not even sure
a good
they
time.
were wrong though. I feel like
maybe
they were right,
weren't.
but their game plan was just sucked.
Which I think they need to accept though. I think Joel's right. They need to accept that the window is closed and begin something else because now they're too far down the rabbit hole. Yeah. Like now it's too far gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I just kind of thought, looking through some of the losses of the year, I'm pretty sure halfway through maybe by the end of the year, at least, when we started that skid, I feel like we should have just gone, right, yeah, I don't... Like, people saying, like, why don't you want them to make finals? And I'm just like, what? So we could go to GWS and get curb stomped? What's the point of making finals only to get, like, thumped and out of the finals just as quickly as you got in? I would have just taken most of the older players and just said, look, we're just going to bleed the youth, play McHenry, play Chase Jones, who started to look pretty bloody good in that last game. Just play the kids. We might get thumped, but whatever. Build for the future now, because if you don't, once you realize you're deep in the shit, you're going to be in a way worse situation. So yeah, should have just accepted our fate, to be honest.
Moving along, and I only want to touch on this briefly because we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, and this is more of an update as to the events.
And everyone knows about this anyway. We don't need to we don't need to harp on about this topic.
Willie Rioli is tested positive for cannabis after the Essendon final.
Yeah.
So to update on the Rioli situation, right? Rioli was tested 2 days after the Richmond round 22 game and was allegedly accused of tampering with his urine result or sample. He was offered his provisional suspension 4 days after the Essendon final game, where on the night after the game, he supplied a urine test to Asada for the AFL, and then he tested positive for cannabis on that test. So where we sit with Rioli at the moment is that he's had effectively 2 infractions with regards to, tests and stuff. However, the testing and everything, he lied about the Gatorade thing as well. Well, that's not confirmed, Mad Eye. The 2 infractions will effectively be judged separately, but he'll only be slapped with the harsher of the 2 bans. So they're not going to be treated as consecutive cases because he was notified of his poor drug test after the game. So therefore, it's not going to be a consecutive punishment. It's going to be just one punishment, just whichever is worse.
Whichever is worse, and it overlaps.
Now, from my understanding, the cannabis thing can only carry a maximum of 2 years as a penalty, whereas tampering can carry 4 years. Now, obviously, the plea of ignorance per se is probably going to go out the door with his tampering case.
That would probably be correct.
He'll probably be slapped with the full 4 years now. I think there was some hope and some murmurings that he might get slapped with an 18 months because of the ignorance plea that he was going to put forward. But I don't think that's going to be the case anymore.
Yeah. I really don't have much of an opinion on this at all. I just want to sit and watch and wait and let it play out. It's one of the funny things that you pick up as being a reporter in my day job. It's like you don't want to have an opinion on something that you don't fully know about or that you're not fully across. So, yeah, I don't really have too much of an opinion on it, given that I'm just not overly involved in it, and I'll just let it play out. I mean, it's going to be months until we find out what actually is handed down.
A year, really.
Yeah. Until we find out what's handed down. So,
yeah,
I suppose we'll check back in then.
Yeah. And I'm sure there'll be more stuff to come out over the coming weeks as Rioli kind of tells his story per se. I don't feel sorry for him due to him knowing. No, I don't think many people feel sorry for him now. But,
no.
But at the before the second test
infraction
came out, I think people were kind of feeling sorry for him just because he was an idiot.
Yeah.
So Eagles had an excuse to lose a smart because I haven't heard anything about the Eagles being in trouble getting bashed while the teams like Pies are getting attacked. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, Jason, per se. What has come up on the screen there?
Oh, that's new. That's different.
Right. That happened.
Oh, dude, it's our notes. All right. Okay. Anyone, if you've got any questions on the topics on the screen right now, fire them away. You may as well. We don't know how that happened, but whatever. It's not a big deal.
Oh my God. How many times is it copied and pasted on there?
Okay. Well,
Jesus.
There you go.
All right, there we go.
We're back.
Okay. Moving along, Stephen Cornelio has ruled himself out of the grand final. This was pretty big news the other day.
Admirable, sad, unfortunate.
It's raised the bigger question, right, of should the AFL move towards a model where contributing players are awarded a medal, a premiership medal. Now, I know this was brought up with like Bob Murphy in 16 and everything, but Bob Murphy played like 5 games for the year.
Yeah.
If that. Cornelio has played quite a large portion of the year and been pretty integral in getting the Giants to the finals, which where they launched to get to the grand final in itself. I think, look, me personally, I wouldn't mind if players who had played, say, 10 to 12 games or something.
Yeah, a minimum of games.
Yeah, because that is that's 2 months of a 4-month season.
That you contributed to this team. That you actually
genuinely contribute to a premiership winning team. I feel like players that are in that kind of position, like say Andrew Gaff last year or Brad Shepherd, who contributed heavily to the winning campaign,
getting the success,
should be awarded a medal. That's my belief because they are contributing to that, and I think that players that play less than that, probably don't become eligible.
What are your thoughts, Joel? Medals or no?
The medals, I should just say this. The medals to the players that don't play are not awarded on the day. They're awarded
separately. They're awarded separately. Yeah. Joel?
Well, as a fan of a team where made 2 grand finals and Tony Modra didn't get one either, I feel you should probably start giving. You should probably hand some medals out just for the players that didn't make it. I mean, I was going to make a video about players whose team played and won grand finals but didn't play in the game that they won, and Modra was going to be top of the list. Or Godra.
Well, Modra is the prime example. He played 25 games for the year or something. Kicked 88 goals or something for the year. He was the leading goal kicker of the year.
Yeah.
Injured himself in the prelim.
That is the prime example.
The flag sort of thing.
I'm all for credit where credit's due. If these guys have contributed, give them a medal. Maybe, like you said, not on the day. Don't give it to them on the day. That's a little, I don't know. Maybe, not on the day, but let's give them a medal,
I mean,
in
American sports. Oh,
sorry. You could say that of players who don't even contribute on the day. Best case in point is Cam Mooney in the 99 premiership. Doesn't register a possession, doesn't register a kick. I think he gets 1 tackle, which does directly lead to a goal. But do you feel that a player of that ilk deserves a medal because he did literally nothing?
He just walked on the
entire
field,
day. He was benched for most of the day, yet he gets awarded a premiership medal. So you can go an argument for both ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in saying that, if you've played in 12 games for the year and all 12 of those games you've lost, you're not winning a premiership. That's not a premiership winning team anyway. Yeah. So, that's kind of a non-factor, really.
Yeah, I agree with that. I guess in terms of Cornelio, to move away from the medal argument, I just think it's quite admirable that he can rule himself out, but also
it's not a selfish play.
Just extremely unfortunate, man, because he's kind of become the face of. He's kind of become Mr. GWS.
He was their second. He was their second pick in their inaugural draft.
Yeah. It used to be Callan Ward was kind of the face, and then Jeremy Cameron for a long time. Now it's sort of, now that he's healthy and now we know what he can do, it's like he's kind of become Mr. GWS in that sense, I feel. So it's really sad that he won't be out there.
Yeah, I agree.
I was going to say, with, I know in American sports they do give out rings for the players that contributed to a championship victory. I know obviously AFL doesn't do similar-ish stuff like that. I mean, although that being said, it makes if they do start handing out rings for players for all the players on the team on the premiership team, it'll make a lot of my jokes more funnier. And I'm sorry, Justin, this is gonna hurt. What is why is Sonic the Hedgehog, a dead Sonic the Hedgehog, and Freo so similar?
I don't know. Fire away.
No rings.
Yeah. Okay.
I saw that.
Would make more sense if
that would make more sense.
Exactly.
That was a bad one. See, when we were off air, Joel fired away a joke that was actually funny and really undersold it. That one, not so much.
No, yeah, really actually oversold that one.
Yeah.
You're even now.
Yeah.
We'll quickly move on. We got 3 more points to go through, and then we want to talk about the grand final. 4 more points to go through. So just quickly, Paddy Ryder has chosen St Kilda as preferred club. We knew he was on his way out, but he's put his back on the Dons, and he's chosen St Kilda as the club that he wants to move to. I don't think it was necessarily unexpected. I think we were both kind of...
He'll play more forward there.
Yeah.
Because Rowan Marshall's going to play in the ruck.
And Josh Bruce has requested a trade to the Dogs.
So maybe
as well.
that's probably where it works best for him. I still don't think he's got much to offer, but I think that's where it works best for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving along, Chris Fagan has been awarded with the Coach of the Year, which I think is the right appointment. It's actually very interesting that probably the best coach over the last, I want to say 2 decades, has never won Coach of the Year, and that's Alistair Clarkson.
Yeah. Yeah, that's ridiculous. But it's always given to some guy who's dragged up, like,
and it's always awarded before the premiership
like
is awarded as well. So I just don't understand. I don't understand that.
I mean, Alistair Clarkson wouldn't trade any of his premiership coaching medallions for but I think it's always given to someone who's dragged a team up. They've done an admirable run, and the footy world fell in love with them. So whatever. Fagan was the easy choice this year.
Yeah. Dennis Cometti is set to be inducted into the Australian Sport Hall of Fame. I think that's a very well-deserved induction.
It's amazing.
He's probably the best AFL commentator of all time.
Yeah,
I think I wouldn't even say probably. I wouldn't even say arguably. He is uncontestedly the best commentator of Australian rules football of all time.
Yeah. So, Joel, did you have some thoughts on that?
Oh, no, I was just like 100% all the way. Definitely.
Yeah, I really wish.
Yeah, totally agree.
I really wish that he would come back just to call the grand final.
Yeah.
Like that would just be brilliant.
I don't know if I've told this story on here or not, but I was at a media awards for a footy, like WA footy media awards thing one night, and Cometti was late. And when he walked in, Basil Zemplis was the host, and Basil Zemplis was like, "If you could please just find your throne, Dennis, instead of your seat." And everyone was just like, that was okay.
Yeah, no, he deserves it.
Yeah.
And lastly, but not least, and this was something I sprung on Justin before. Yeah,
this is kind of new to me.
Peter Sumich has failed or flopped his interview with the Fremantle Dockers. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this was because the article in which this came out was a Fox Sports article, and not one of the normal, typical, say, West articles where Sumich is often spoke about.
Yeah.
What's interesting to me is that there was very clear information that was presented within the article, as though the journalist was in the room, like writing notes down as to what actually happened in his presentation. Basically,
clearly a leak.
Basically, it was the article went along the lines of Sumich presented very, very well. He was very confident in what he was saying. But the things that he wanted to address with Fremantle were not necessarily on the same page with the Fremantle board who were in the interview per se. And basically, like, you can read it's not even reading between the lines.
No.
You just need to read the article, and you can just tell that Peter Sumich is the one who actually leaked the article to the media himself.
Yeah.
Which is just borderline crazy stupid, because you just lose all respectability in doing that.
Yeah, you're not going to get a head coaching gig doing these things.
I also think this is maybe the 5th head coaching gig that he's failed to get.
I feel like he's got a blazing trail at the moment of, like he's probably upset that he feels he should have had a head coaching gig by now. He hasn't. And now it's like, this interview's gone a little awry and things aren't on the same page, so screw it, I'm blowing it up.
I'll tell you what,
I'm out here firing.
I'll tell you what wouldn't have helped him, right? So as a senior coach, you want to be seen as respectful to other teams and stuff as well, right? You don't want to be throwing other teams under the bus per se. You want to be seen as that respectful. This other team was they played a good game. They just didn't go over the line.
You can have a hit out at them prior to a game.
West Coast under the bus the week before, leading into the interview. What does that say about a potential senior coach coming to your club? And Freo, it's just a stupid move.
Like, Freo and West Coast aren't on great terms at the moment, but they, like, the front offices want to be done with the rivalry. Like, they want to be done with the heat that is kind of between the two clubs in recent times. So going into the front office and already guns blazing against them, they're kind of going to be like, nah, this isn't going to fly. Yeah.
What a nump.
Hilarious. Puts Longmuir in the box seat, apparently. So
what a numpty,
there we go.
Honestly, I'm so glad. Like, to be perfectly honest, there was a little bit of me that was wanting Sumich to get the head coach because I know that he would just tank Freo. But it's not good for the competition as a whole when Sumich is a head coach in the AFL. So I really didn't want him to get it, but I just kind of...
I've been on the Longmuir
wanted it to.
bandwagon since day one. Aussie asks, what's your thoughts on participation in grand final medals or rings should a player who played it? Yeah, we literally touched on this just recently, Aussie. We're all in agreement that, yes, they should get one given that they played
a certain amount of games.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
We're going to move into the actual game.
It's grand final time, man. It's grand final time.
Grand final on Saturday. Starts at 2:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time at the MCG.
Home
Richmond
of the football.
Versus Greater Western Sydney in their inaugural grand final. Who'd have thought that they'd get over the top of Collingwood?
Can you believe it that the team that was brought in was bright orange and, has no fans is actually there playing off? Like, I know they're a good team. I know, but, like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be a great game. It's actually going to be a better game than I think.
I tell you what, I'm actually kind of dirty on myself because last week I really wanted to tip GWS. Like, I felt GWS was probably going to get up. But Whitfield and Green being out, it just tipped me over the edge to go for Collingwood. But I was actually really dirty on myself that I just didn't go with my gut and go, I think GWS has got this.
Yeah.
Now they're in the grand final, and I don't actually think they're going to win. But
no,
I am like wholeheartedly, and you'll see in the watch party on Saturday, I'm gunning for them to win. I'm sorry, West Coast, but I'm putting my membership down and I'm becoming a full-fledged GWS supporter for that day.
I can't let them win because then they've won one before Freo. That can't happen. And then there's
who'd have thought the orange team would beat the purple team to a flag?
There's no excuse that I can come up with that doesn't just make me seem like a salty supporter. Like, someone asked me it during the week and they're like, oh, so what happens if, GWS win one before Freo? And I started to bang on and I'm like, the handouts they've had, Freo never had these things, man. Like, this has been ridiculous. This is all contrived from the AFL. And then I caught myself midway through the sentence and I was like, hang on. I'm just being super salty right now, and everyone's like thinking like, "Oh, you're just salty," and it's like I've got nothing.
Justin, don't worry. Like, my reason I'm supporting GWS is for saltiness of the other way.
Team lost.
No, I can't. They can't win, man. They can't win.
How interstate teams bring out the best in other interstate teams when coming up against Victorian teams.
Fuck them.
It's a joy to watch.
Screw them, man. They need to get belted.
It is a Victorian competition.
I do want to see all the dejected Richmond supporters and all the players sitting on the ground, tears swelling their eyes, and go, you know how I feel.
I just can't do that.
Just Matt I brings up a good point though, Justin. What happens when, not if, when Gold Coast get a flag before Fremantle?
I move country. I move.
You wouldn't be able to live in Perth anymore, right?
I can't, I don't even want to think about it, man.
Having two expansion clubs win one before Freo.
The worst thing is my job is to be a football writer. So, I can't even just be like, screw it, I wouldn't follow the sport anymore. I have to follow the damn sport. I don't even have a choice. It's how I make money and pay my goddamn bills. And I chose this. I've got a funny story about I've become a Freo supporter. because my brothers got sick of me picking a different team every week when I was younger. And that week that they sat me down and told me they were over it, I was Freo. So I was like, screw it, I'm Freo. The week before, I was Hawthorn. They'd have asked me like 4 days earlier, man. I would have been a Hawks supporter.
Yeah. Well,
I would have been celebrating. And
that's a story of the life of a Freo supporter.
and then we lose our grand final to them. It's awful. Anyhow, should we run through the teams?
We should run through the teams.
We're getting sidetracked.
So Richmond played their prelim with an unchanged team. However, they bring in Pickett, as was talked about before, and out goes Graham, who probably enters the discussion as do players get a medal if they don't play on the day but have made contributions, because he's had a huge contribution. In fact, he had a huge contribution just to the prelim.
Yeah. He's a big time player. Yeah. It's really sad to see him not playing.
And for GWS, back in the lineup comes Whitfield and Green. Unfortunately, out goes Keefe and Hill. Now, I can only assume that Green is coming in for Keefe. Oh, he'd be coming in for Hill.
Whitfield will be coming in for Keefe in the defensive role, because Keefe is so stiff to be missing out here. He killed Myercheck last week. Like, he killed him. Like, he should not be coming out. But they must be so confident that Phil Davis is going to be fit that he will assume the Keefe role, and bringing Whitfield back is obviously a no-brainer.
I mean, I think worst case scenario, Keefe's an emergency for Davis just in case.
Probably, but like they would want to hope that Phil Davis is 100% fit and firing, because he was hobbled, and
no, he'll be all right.
Yeah, he's got to be okay. They must know that he's okay. It's not a case of they would want to hope. It's they would know that he's okay. Otherwise, they wouldn't make this move.
Joel, I want to know, how do you see this game going down on Saturday?
Well, as much as I hate to say it, like, I want GWS win, but I definitely see the Tigers winning. I think they're just stronger in the midfield. They play the ground so much better, and the yellow and black army will kind of spur them on. I think it'll be close, but as much as it hate for me to say it, I just don't think there's any way. Well, okay, we said that last week, but I don't think I don't think GWS pull off the miracle, unfortunately.
No, I tend to agree with you, Joel. My recent run-ins with grand finals all the way down to a local level is that they've been upsets, or like a club that can win that we didn't think was going to win has come out firing and actually won. So even West Coast last year, I guess we were still sort of iffy. I actually tipped them to win, but people didn't. People were on the Collingwood train with that. So I think GWS could do it. But then again, I think of this Richmond side, and I just think, man, this could be another blowout grand final win for Richmond.
I want to present something to you, and with regards to Richmond, because I'm just mentally going through Richmond's last couple of finals campaigns, and Richmond seem to bring out their best when they're sort of a 50-50 or underdog against the team that they're coming up against. So the last final that they lost was against Collingwood, who they were tipped to smack.
Yeah, they were tipped to smash them, yeah.
They got ahead of themselves. They got smacked. They actually got really smacked.
Yeah.
The last time they won, they lost a final. Well, even their 2017 final series, I don't think they were necessarily heavy favourites in any of the games they particularly played. They may have been favourites, but not heavy favourites. And I'm pretty sure that they were underdogs coming into the 17 grand final against Adelaide, because Adelaide were the best side in the team, and they ruffle stomped them after half time. I'm wondering if perhaps the Tigers get a little bit ahead of themselves coming against GWS, because they are so very expected to kind of roll GWS. And GWS in this final series have actually played the finals contested brand of footy that is needed to win a grand final. And it doesn't look like they've really dropped off in any meaningful way from that plan.
No, it doesn't.
I'm just a little concerned for... don't get me wrong, I think Richmond will win, but I'm concerned that Richmond may be just getting a little ahead based on all the talk and everything around, that they'll just come out and have an easy time.
I tend to think that this Richmond team actually strikes me as a group that's got a ton of character. Like, I don't know where I get this impression from, but they just strike me as a group that has heaps of character, knows what they're doing, and I feel like they probably learnt a lot from that Collingwood final where they got smashed last year. I feel like they're a group that could learn a lot from it. They're probably not overly proud given the fact that they spent so long down the bottom. So I think they're open to learning from their mistakes, and I think they probably have done that, and they're probably ready to just... I don't know. I feel that they're going to... I have a feeling they're going to roll this game, but then I'm just wary because I thought Collingwood would beat GWS, and they didn't. So I thought Brisbane would beat GWS, and they didn't. So who knows?
Who do you have winning the Norman Smith medal? Give me one. Okay, so give me one if Richmond wins and if GWS wins, because typically it's the winning side.
All right. Do you want to go first there, Joel?
Okay, so I know this sounds... Even if he played a bad game, I'm pretty sure, or whoever plays, like even if someone plays a substantially better game, I still think Dusty wins the Norm Smith if Richmond wins. Like, even if, like, I don't know, Cotcham or whoever plays
that
a better
happened
game.
last time, right? Basher Hooley
Yeah,
played
exactly.
arguably a better game.
You could...
Robbed
Arguably.
blind.
Arguably, but... Dusty winning it wasn't out of the question either.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't ridiculous, but it was arguable that he shouldn't have won it. Who's your GWS pick, Joel?
I don't know. I was going to say Dylan Shield, but wait, fuck, he doesn't play for them anymore.
Yeah, that would be a stretch.
Whitfield. I think even though he's coming off a appendectomy, I'm pretty sure that's when your appendix gets removed. But yeah, I think he just rolls the orange tsunami through the middle of the MCG and just drowns the Tigers. Metaphorically, obviously. Also, just, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but realistically, Richmond should be going for their three-peat right now, and they totally shit the bed against the Pies. I don't even know how they did that. It was kind of hilarious.
No. West Coast would have beat Richmond anyway.
That's what I would have said. That's what I said in 2017 with the Crows, and they broke my heart.
Okay, my Norm Smith. If Richmond win, Dion Prestia.
Oh, okay.
Who's been in amazing form and had an outstanding year, and at the moment, I think Brian Taylor said it, and I saw it, but like I agree with it for once. He's, to me, Richmond's best player at the moment, unless Tom Lynch kicks a bag, because I actually thought in their prelim, I think it was coming out that everyone was saying Dusty was like pretty much best on. Tom Lynch had 19 disposals and 5 goals won. Tom Lynch was best on.
Right.
But Dion Prestia is who I will go with there. For the Giants, I'm sort of torn into... I will pick Zach Williams.
Right.
But I want it to be Toby Green.
Okay.
Like, just for the storyline. Everyone hates him. It would be hilarious if he just was like, screw it, I'm just going to come out here, win a grand final, win a Norm Smith, and cash my check.
Interesting.
So, yeah. What do you got?
For me, I think Dylan Grimes gets it for the Tigers.
Backman.
He completely shuts out Cameron. Completely shuts out Cameron. So I think he gets it.
Yeah.
If the Giants win, I think Green gets it.
Yeah, okay.
Toby Green.
Toby Green.
He's a big game player. He loves
huge.
the big stage. If the Giants are going to win this game, Toby Green is having a say in that win.
And Toby Green just loves to piss people off. It's like everyone already hates him.
I hate him as a person. He's an absolute mongrel.
He's a grub.
Man,
I would love to see him just to see the anger in people.
Story,
just to see the anger in people. Like, I think that would be hilarious. How do you guys... Okay, and while we're on predictions, while we're doing things like this, give me your first goals. Joel, you start first. Who's your first goal?
I might go Cameron. Jeremy Cameron clunks a mark, goes back.
I've got Daniels for mine for GWS.
Okay. I'm going to go Richmond then, and I will go with Trent Cotchin putting the first one through.
Yeah, all right.
I think it'll take a while. Each side might feel each other out for a little bit, and somehow Trent Cotchin's going to sneak forward and just nab the first goal.
Yeah,
It's a ridiculous prediction, but whatever.
I think Daniels will.
I like Daniels.
Yeah, no,
He's
I
really
think
good.
he'll kick the first goal, and it'll be within the first 60 seconds.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, are we going to make our picks? We're going to make our picks. Joel, is Joel still with us?
He is, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, who's making picks then? What are we doing?
Richmond for me.
Richmond. By
Richmond by... Oh, that's a really good one. Richmond by 34.
Joel?
I'm going to say GWS. Well, there's more hope and Schadenfreude kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. GWS by 5 points. They kick the winning goal in the last, say, 45 seconds. And then I can drink all the tears of Richmond supporters in the cup they don't have.
Find some in Adelaide.
Oh, man.
Oh, no. I'll just vicariously enjoy it through the TV.
Okay. I'm going to go with Richmond. And I'm going to go with 48 points, the same amount that they beat Adelaide by 2 years ago. I'm going to go with an 8-goal margin.
How dare you?
Just to bring that up and show. But I genuinely do think, I'm just taking the piss out of Joel there, but I do genuinely think I'm just going to go out. I never back big margins. I try to stay away from them. But I'm just going to do it. I think Richmond puts on the Jets, turns it on, and just runs away with a big win. 48 points. Like they did against Adelaide 2 years ago.
Well, there we are. If you want to watch the grand final with us, I am doing a watch party with Cameron on Saturday. My brother may be in attendance. I don't know yet, but we're going to be doing a watch party with the grand final, and hopefully a fair amount of you show up for that one. I'm actually thinking about doing a sneaky little stream decides a cheeky $5 bet multi or whatever for the game. So make sure you're there at the start of the stream if you want to help decide what they are going to be, and we can just add a little bit more nuance to the end result per se. So we are going to be doing that tomorrow. We've got the Western Bulldogs review coming out. Saturday is going to be the watch party. Sunday, we're going to have the review of the grand final. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are... What are the teams? It goes West Coast, Brisbane, then Geelong for next week's.
Geelong's
West Coast is going to be good, by the way. We just filmed West Coast. We had a bit of fun. It was a bit of a laugh. So keep your eyes peeled for the West Coast review.
And from what I understand, Joel's going to be having quite a bit of fun with his Geelong review that he so auspiciously begged me for. So
I know it's wrong to torture cats, but, these ones deserve it.
Yeah, that's going to be us. So I'll see you next in a live setting on Saturday. You'll see Joel in next week's Geelong review, and Justin will make his third last appearance for the year, pending future videos.
Yeah, we'll still be brainstorming ideas and whatnot. Yeah, with the review. So
yeah.
Yeah, well,
I'm back in the GWS.
It's really sad. We've actually really enjoyed all of you guys coming in on Footy Rivals every week and turning out the questions and the comments and stuff. So thanks so much for actually joining us. Andrew, you've just joined us, so that's great timing. But yeah, no, thanks so much for all of the support, guys. And yeah, it's been a good... when did we start? Round 6 or something like that?
Yeah, round 7, I think.
Yeah. It's been a good 2/3, 3/4 of a season.
No worries, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow's video and on Saturday.
All right. Thanks. Catch ya.
Bye.
See you guys.